Welcome to the latest word on Black News with Brittany Jones, bringing you powerful conversations.
Black history is American history. American history is Black history. You don't study the history of America like history is a public relations exercise.
Exclusive stories.
That Black women in slavery, it's kind of like our bodies have never been our own. So you start to hear these stories, and these were stories about young women. They were not adults that was brutally raped.
Thought-provoking topics.
Who's the voice of Black America right now? And it feels more like a choir than a preacher. And it's a choir that's singing on different notes, not a choir that's singing in harmony.
And transformative perspectives.
I have learned so much about myself.
Haven't we all?
That inform, inspire, and ignite change. You're watching the latest word on Black News.
And so looking at like even both of these cases, because we talk about like witnesses and when it's these high profile cases as like R. Kelly, as we've been talking about, and then Diddy, what happens to witness safety if Diddy, for instance, is acquitted or receives a presidential pardon?
So, it's funny when you say what happens to witness safety, the first thing that comes to mind is one of the most compelling testimonies from the trial, which is, and I think his name was Kid Capri, testified that he believes that Diddy blew his car up because he was trying to befriend or talk to whatever was going on with Cassie. And so if you're a witness that has testified against Diddy, I can see why there would be some serious safety concerns based on what, again, these allegations are that Diddy has done. And so, unfortunately, the law doesn't really have anything in place to protect witnesses that testified in Diddy's trial. Diddy's convicted that are concerned about their safety. It's really up to the prosecutor's discretion. A prosecutor can say, you know what, you were a key witness. We think that your life or safety may be in danger and we're going to give you protection. But there's no law that says that prosecutor has to. So it's really up to the discretion of the prosecutor. Now, if the witnesses had a deal ahead of time with the prosecutor that said, hey, I'll testify, but only if I can become state's witness, meaning I want security, I want protection for the next 10 years, or I want protection for X number of years. But that deal would have to have been made on the front end. So after the fact, really, it's up to the prosecutor. And if I were being frank, very unlikely the prosecutor is going to offer any type of security because, again, that's coming out of their prosecutorial state budget. And it's just not something they do.
So for lack of better words, ain't nobody safe.
If I can be correct, frank, it's every man, woman, they, everybody for themselves. And if I had testified against someone that I thought was going to come back and want to make me pay, I would be very concerned, to be quite frank. There's nothing to protect them.
Wow. So, I mean, it just makes me think about in the trials, going forward, that a lot of people sometimes don't speak up because of that reason.
Well, I mean, we heard this since we were kids. The little, in the neighborhood, they say snitches wear stitches, and that's where that terminology came from. So, absolutely, a lot of times in victims, sexual assault victims, they don't come forward. Crime victims don't come forward. You don't want to have not only your safety compromised, but your family members. A lot of these witnesses in the Diddy trial, they have families. They have mothers, they have fathers, they have children. Jane has a small child, she mentioned. And so, these are real concerns that, to be quite frank, Brittany, nobody's talking about. What happens to the witnesses if Diddy gets off? Nobody's talking about that. And the fact that they don't have any guaranteed safety or protection.
And then what do you think could the potential impact be on the music industry as a result of Diddy's case?
I think Diddy's case has turned or will turn the music industry completely upside down. Based on what we've seen in the trial and my coverage of the trial, people have known about these freak offs, these king parties, whatever you want to call them, for years and have simply looked the other way. They've known about the abuse, they've known about the drugs. And now, everybody's like bracing, like, please don't mention my name, right? And so I think we're going to see these types of parties either be a lot more under the low key with a lot more restrictions, no cell phones, because a lot of things that hurt Diddy's case for his defense, he videotaped all the freak offs. So they've got footage. They have, there's a lot of cell phone evidence that I think people now will be a lot more careful about if they're engaging in those types of illegal activities. And to be honest, just from a Black entertainment perspective, I think it might make people that are giving endorsements be a little bit more cautious if they're giving it to a black rapper, because they might be thinking, well, do they have some skeletons from their closet, some freak
Mm.
off skeletons, right, that are going to come up and mess up my brand? And so there are a lot of implications for endorsement deals, future movie deals, and just how the entertainment industry, which we know is dominated by non-blacks, right? How
Yep.
that might impact uh, us trying to make a name for ourselves in this business. So I don't, of course, I don't even think Diddy was thinking about all this, but yeah, I think it's really concerning, to be quite honest, but time will tell.
And my last question, looking at what we've discussed about R. Kelly and looking at where Diddy is now on his trial, do you think Diddy might be sitting in fear at this point, knowing that if there's the possibility for people coming after R. Kelly, that he could be next in that space, and what legal consequences that those people would face or that he may experience, I guess, because of that?
Yeah, yes, the name that comes to mind, and I hope I'm remembering his name right, so I might
Yeah.
need your help. Diddy's not trying to be the Jeffrey Epstein, okay?
Mm,
Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. Other people are saying, did he really commit suicide? I mean, he allegedly had
yeah.
a team of books. So, if I were in Diddy's shoes, I would be concerned, because a lot of people, he knows who were at those parties. A lot of these people were married. A lot of these people had partners. A lot of these people were reputable members of the white community, the black community, the Hispanic
Yeah.
community. And he could really do some damage if he starts, as we say, my grandmother would say, to sing like a canary, right? So, think that he should be concerned. And, but Diddy, one thing Diddy, and we've seen him for years, he's always got an entourage. He's got security. Diddy has never been one to walk without making sure he has a lot of protection surrounding him. But I think he should be concerned. But it also, if I can digress for a minute, I think what's
Yeah.
more concerning about me is the message that these two, I mean, I love Diddy's music. I mean, who did? We're all doing the little dances. I mean,
Hmm.
who doesn't dance? It's dance music. R. Kelly. I mean, I'm singing bump and grind. I mean, I know every R. Kelly song that's
When
out.
we had no business when we were younger, but yeah, go ahead.
Right. When we know what bumping and grinding, what we sing in the song, right? So,
Right.
right. So I think what's more disturbing is, what are the implications for our community? I mean, we've had two music icons, moguls, be convicted of some very serious crimes and now alleged to have committed some very serious crimes. And so, what kind of impact will that have on our legacy in terms of in the music industry? What kind of impact will that have on people behind Diddy and R. Kelly that are trying to get into the business? So I don't know. I'm just disappointed, to be quite honest. It's hard enough. We always have to be twice as good at everything. And for them to get to that level, we know they worked hard. We know they were extremely talented. And just to see this legacy literally crumble before us on both artists' parts, even if Diddy's found not guilty, still it's definitely going to leave a very tough impact, negative impact on our community. And I think even as a legal analyst, I don't mind discussing the legal aspects of the case, but the impact on our community is something that I think we'll be feeling for generations to come.
Yeah, that's just that statement alone is just so very impactful, Dr. Laura, because like you said, we grew up listening to it and these were people who we looked up to. I believe I can fly, all of these things. And so now like watching it kind of play out and unfold on TV, I know we've been told that things like this happen behind the scenes, but to actually see it and hear it is another thing to be able to just to even process. So we definitely thank you for just giving us so much insight and we are excited to have you back at any time.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Good seeing you.
Thanks again to Dr. Laura McNeal for joining us here on the latest word on Black News. And as always, we want to hear from you about this, folks. We want your thoughts. What do you think about both of these cases? Should Donald Trump pardon R. Kelly and Diddy if he's convicted? Please leave your comments below. And while you're at it, don't forget to check out all of our other episodes in case you missed them and follow us on Instagram. But for now, I'm Brittany Jones, your host. And until next time, take care.